Hey guys, this is Tom Box, and today I'm sharing with you guys my favorite deck of the format for my first post 100k video, Illusion Chimera. This deck is insanely powerful. I love it. I've been playing it for the last 2 weeks now, and it's getting a lot more popular thanks to recent tops of Dutch Nationals, Toronto or Montreal Regionals, and even personally, it's been performing superbly well. I think went undefeated twice for Saturday, Sunday locals, and X won 4 times, dying twice in the finals. Sometimes they just have it, but nonetheless, it does perform against a lot of the meta contenders, and for good reason. It just finds ways to win games. So in this video, I'm going to give you guys my deck list. I'm going to share you guys a combo demo and give you guys the tips and tricks that I know that can help you with this. And whether you agree or disagree, leave it down in the comments section. And thank you for hitting that subscribe when we hit 100k. And don't forget, there's a giveaway link down in the description. If you already joined in the previous video, you don't have to click it again because you're still cycled through for the next 12 giveaways, because I don't want to make you guys do a lot of work for it. And it's easier for me, easier for you. And let's go. We're gonna do this package to package, starting off with the Illusion package, Triple Apprentice. So Nightmare Apprentice cannot be destroyed by battle, and like all illusion monsters, or most illusion monsters, it cannot kill the things by battle, so keep that in mind. But it is level 6, it's a dark, so it can also feel for Chaos Angel. On summon, it gets you an illusion monster. It can go for Kodo, Kodo can go for Gazelle, or it can go for Mirror Sword, depending on the combo line that you're going for. Typically, I like to go for Gazelle because Gazelle is just one of the best fusion materials in the entire deck. When you successfully use Gazelle as a fusion material, which we play 3 of, you are halfway through setting up your entire combo, because it opens up all your engines and you can use this to kind of search for any of the other illusions. So you kind of cycle all your illusions differently. Now, before there was a dead end, the Nightmare Apprentice kind of circumvents that. And I like summoning out this because even through Mirror Sword Knight, which I do play 3 of, sometimes I still go for the Gazelle because Gazelle does not lock me into fusions, which opens up the opportunity to summon out Chaos Angel, SP Little Knight, go into different lines in case you get de-barriered. And that's something that you need to be conscious about, especially going into game 2. Triple Mirror Sword Knight because it's a light for 1, and it's also the one that can give you the 1-card kill combo, and Hand Rip because most of the combos kind of lean in that direction. We play Triple Kodo because we want the consistency, and also the targeting negation is very, very key. It can also block the effect of SP, block the effect of Promethean Princess. And then we have double Big Wing Baphomet, very important. Sometimes if you have Big Wing Baphomet and the Nightmare Apprentice, just play the poly, fuse them both, summon the Nightmare Apprentice with the Big Wing Baphomet. It's still really worth it, considering that you have not used your normal summon already. And then we have Master Tao, and we're playing a copy of Diabelze, the original Sin Keeper. This card here is not really that necessary, but it is very useful for blocking big stuff like Lightning Storms, because if they set the card, they want to break your board game too, or evenly matches. It kills anyone playing evenly match because they have to set it, and it breaks most people trying to play Droplet. You can preemptively summon this out. It's very easy to summon it out, and Master Tao is... Just watch my Master Tao video if you want me to explain Master Tao, because everyone hated the card when I played it, and then after I played this, people start playing again. So yeah, it is one of your free dump to special. Ideally, if you want to change and not play this, you can play Farfa instead if you want a card that actually does something to break your opponent's board. Like going for like Baphomet dump Farfa, you can banish a card off the field, and you can also set up some chain blocks with it too. So I'm just gonna give you guys that immediate tip right now. Try out Farfa if you don't want to play Diabelze. And then we have 3 Chimera Fusion. I like to hold on to these to change your opponent's cards, but if you have to play it, you have to play it. Just remember to retrieve it out of the graveyard. People that aren't successful with the deck, they forget to retrieve it. Now for the additional package, the Edgem package, we play 2 Edgem Chain, Triple Patchwork, and double Polymerization. Polymerization is also part of the Melodious engine. It's for 2 engines, so it doesn't really hurt too much. Sometimes you can actually side out the entire edge in package and just keep the poly if you want to side in additional cards. Siding pattern is very key in terms of like winning match the match, because you have to win games 2 and 3, and understanding what you need to keep and what you don't really helps. But this package is necessary. Sometimes I play the poly just so that the Guardian Chimera coming out cannot be targeted, and it makes it a lot easier, especially when they make misplays to activate a card attempting to target them. Like, yeah, you can't. We also play like 1 Call by the Grave just for a little tech. We do play the Melodious package, so we have the Concerto, we have the Ostinato, we have 1 Couplet, we have 3 Refrains, and we have 1 Tam Tam. For us, when we play Ostinato, we want to play it with Refrain and Tam Tam so that Tam Tam can be one of the monsters summoned back when Couplet is revealed, so that you can get the additional search of polymerization. You can search out both polys if you want, but then that also makes your Edgem package a lot more dead. That means they just become discard fodder. And luckily for this deck, it has tons of discard fodder, and I'll show you guys why once we get into the last bit of the package. But Ostinato wins you the entire game 90% of the time, because it's even meaner, because you make Ostinato and then you start doing hand rip combo, and what are they gonna do? Hand rip combo? You have 7 negates when you finish this, and they're playing with 4 cards. They're not gonna win. It's like, you can just save your time and scoop. They can even Nibiru you, and then you do the hand rip combo, and then you triple attack down to 2 cards. You don't even care. You'll break the Nibiru along the way anyway. So yeah, this package probably won't stay alive, but Dutch nationals did not play this package. I recommend trying this package, and for this reason, I have to show you guys a side deck, because the siding pattern will matter, because personally, games 2 and 3, depending if I'm going first or not, I side all 9 cards, and it just becomes hand trap dump because it's the meta. In terms of hand traps, you guys are 100% gonna disagree with this. I only played 2 Ash and 1 Imperm. That's the entire hand trap line. However, it doesn't mean I can't go second, because I'm choosing to play triple Droplet instead, because Droplet can actually break a lot of stuff, and considering the discard fodder I have for the deck, like Edgem Chains, they can start fueling for additional cards, which is kind of why I also want to play Farfa in the main deck over the Diabelze, because Farfa can surprise your opponent by all of a sudden their monster is banished. Like a Snake Eye Ash is now banished for no apparent reason, and they can't continue their play. That's the kind of stuff that you can do. And of course, to follow to go second, of course, we have 2 triple attack. And the reason why it's kind of important, because Ostinato is also a card that can break boards, as long as when you get into the Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon part, make sure that that is Chainlink 1, so that your Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon doesn't miss timing on the bounce play. All right, kind of important, because it'll be like Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Cross Sheep, stuff like that. I'll show you guys in a second. And that's why it's pretty nasty. So that is the entire main deck. For extra deck, we'll start off with one of the Chimera, the King of Phantom Beasts. You just need one. You're not going to do multiple hand ripping. There's just so many ways to actually revive cards out of the graveyard now that additional copies of this won't really help you. Your opponent usually expends most of the resources out of their hand anyway, and sometimes you might even help them. But for the first turn play, it's good to keep a beast on the field, and it's good to like just look at your opponent's, well, not look at it, but rip a card out of their hand to kind of get a sense of the matchup, to kind of debate whether or not you need to, you know, preemptively activate your Chimera Fusion, for instance. But you should be trying to load as many Chimera Fusions onto the board as possible. Then we play 2 copies of the Baphomet. Baphomet, you have to play this one. This is your Foolish Burial. It's too good. Thumps Master Tau. It helps you revive your Mirror Sword Knights that gets banished, or someone, or Kotal that gets banished. Like, and don't forget, these guys have like the banish effect to summon one of the tri-types back. Okay, so it's kind of important, but this one more important than the other, because the Foolish Burial effect helps you set up for things to revive, and that's where it really matters. Like Diabelze is one of those, and then the other ones that you have to play would be 1 Magnum the Reliever, which is like your poly resource management and one of your like generic poly options. You're playing 1 copy of Guardian Chimera and 1 copy of Chimera the Illusion Beast. This thing OTK I don't know how many times, because it's just so easy to set it up. You don't even have to crack the whole board. If you see that your opponent is leaving a monster in attack position, then go for this thing and just finish them off. You don't have to crack the whole board, which is why Droplet is so useful, because you just Droplet, oh, Appaloosa IP. And then what else do they have left? Okay, they have a special summon Engrave. Well, that won't really matter if you just activate a Kotal and you just play a Poly. Now that card's also done for. Just build your board, get into this, just attack for game. And that's how you sneak games off of people a lot of the times. Guardian Chimera is Guardian Chimera. I don't really need to explain that. Now, as for the other package, what am I fitting in? Looking into, of course, the Melodious package, we have 2 Botchas, all right? And typically the 2 Botchas will lead to the Link package. So Link package would be Cross Sheep, we have Exceeds the Pendulum, we also have Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess, and finally we have 1 SP Gold Knight. I recommend trying this out. You can actually cut out 2 cards. If you want to have a bigger fusion package, then you can choose to take out, say, the Odd Eyes Absolute and the Odd Eyes Vortex. And speaking of which, these are the other 2. You can put another Guardian Chimera, and you can probably put another useful card here. I think I would recommend Nightmare Phoenix, because it's a fiend. And just to add a little emphasis to this, Chaos Angel and Cross Sheep, they're both beast and fiend type. Being the beast and fiend type that they are, they also act as fusion material if you are lacking a specific type to keep the Chimera fusion alive. It's come up more than once, so I'm thinking it is a very relevant play that you need to know. Like, crack a piece of the board and start doing your whole like poly play. It's really, really useful. And finally, of course, the SP Little Knight being the extra package here. I want so many games of this. I would not cut this out for anything. It's too good. Like, a lot of people choose not to play it because like, oh, I'm locked into fusion half the time. You're only locked into fusion if you choose to use Birth from it. And with the amount of hand advantage that you're getting, you don't really need to worry about that. So looking to the side deck, we have Archfiend Eris and Simul Archfiends. These two, after just confirming it, so there was a Montreal one, there was also a Toronto top. This is the first place Toronto top tech where he played Archfiend Eris and Simul Archfiend. This is dumped via the Birth from it, and then this will end up searching the Simul Archfiend, which will floodgate out your opponent. And then additionally, we have There Can Be Only One because I like doing that. We have one barrier statue. I'm still trying it out. I might actually tech it out. I'm playing triple Cosmic Cyclones for now, just so that we can get rid of some back row. It's kind of standard. We need some level of removal. Triple DD Crow, just so we have graveyard removal. The double Effect Veiler, the missing Ash, and the 2 missing Imperms. So it turns into a fully hand trap build. And so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we'll just take one of these and put it in. Typically, it would be that There Can Be Only One because I can still flip this on my opponent and they'll be a little bit more surprised. What I'm trying to change here, personally, is to shove in Daruma Karma Cannon into this particular side deck because I think the timing of that card works really well regardless. Even if my monsters are flip face down, I can still Chimera Fusion them off the board. And it makes it harder for my opponent to play, and having a Book of Eclipse like effect hurts the opponent probably more than it hurts me, but that's kind of my thought process so far in terms of things I might change. I might even put in like a King Tiger Wang who just as like another Floodgate-esque monster because it does hurt quite significantly for some decks, but I think Barrier Statue hurts like the fire deck a little bit more. So there's the main deck, extra deck, side deck. So the first combo is gonna be the Ostinato start. If you want to skip this one and just get into like the regular stuff, by all means just do that instead. But if you want to see what this version of Ostinato looks like, it's essentially just the same thing, but you get additional copies of Polymerization. So starting with the Ostinato, dumping a copy of Refrain and Tam Tam. This is what I currently do anyway, and we go for the Bacha. Bacha effect is going to get you the Refrain straight out. Activate the Refrain. That's going to get you the Couplet. All right. Couplet reveal, get the Tam Tam. Tam Tam effect on summon because there was this, so you do the Polymerization. Oh yeah, by the way, don't forget to burn your opponent along the way if you are running close to time, because Tam Tam has a burn effect by 500, and it's not once per turn, so you can actually do it multiple times if you so choose. So you can actually just play Polymerization again, and you actually can burn for 1,000 if you need to push that way. Anyways, now that you activate the Couplet's going to grab the Concerto, and you just do the kind of standard thing, play the Concerto, then summon out a second copy of Bacha, which will lead to the triggering of these two monsters. So we're still building the same board. Overlay the two now, and you can summon into the Odd Eyes Absolute, and then you just link everything into Cross Sheep, and we are playing the game here, where that is going to summon out the Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. Do that as Chainlink 1, so okay, so Chainlink 1 should be the Odd Eyes Absolute, Chainlink 2 should be Bacha, Chainlink 3 should be the Concerto, something like that, or you can reverse it a little bit, doesn't really matter, and you draw one card, and you get to summon back, you can go for the summon back of Refrain, and then the Cross Sheep will summon back the Tam Tam, and because this card was special summoned while you control a Melodious monster, guess what, you get a second copy of Polymerization. However, as a quick tip to you, if you have Patchwork, play Patchwork before you play the Ostinato, just so that you can bait out an Ash, and typically they'll just let it go through, which is also good for you because that means it loads your hand with a Fiend. And if you really want to go into your plays now into like a more deeper sense where you want the negate here, you can get rid of these two and make an SP, and then that's live to negate, and then you can play poly with the Edgem chain to dump into a Chimera. So that's one of the ways they can kind of loop around into your play. All right, but for now we just kind of do the standard thing where we just start climbing with Exceeds the Pendulum, add this back, Exceeds the Pendulum effect, summon it back onto the field, and we go into Appaloosa, and we're finishing our board with a 3 additional card draw, and we have 4 more cards in hand. So this is the standard opening. The standard opening play would be the new Apprentice plus Edgem Chain. If you dump these two to summon out, so you get yourself a Kotal and a Patchwork. This can be chain link too, so it can be negated. You might actually miss out on this, but then that also makes the Kotal play super live because you don't have to deal with Ash anymore, which is great. That means your Mirror Sword Knight isn't gonna get like stunned out, and you know, there's always that risk. But considering that everything kind of moves up smoothly, go for the Patchwork. Patchwork is gonna grab you another Edgem Chain and another Poly. And now you can normal summon out the Kotal, or not normal summon, but like now you can activate Kotal and use that to get a Mirror Sword Knight. Mirror Sword Knight, you can normally activate the effect and grab Burfo. But one thing that I will warn you is that in games 2 and 3 might not be the best play for Kotal into Mirror Sword, just in case they have like cards like D-Barrier or stuff like that that really hurts. You can Kotal straight into the Gazelle depending on what you have in your hand, and if you're holding a Mirror Sword Knight there, it's even better because you're layering your interaction down the line later on. But I'm just doing a standard one. I'll show you what I mean in a second. So Burfo's not going to grab you these two. You can activate the Polymerization so that your future Guardian Chimera is going to be untargetable, and you can summon a Chimera. Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Chainlink 3, because this one negated doesn't really matter. It still rips a card out of their hand because they have to commit a card to stopping you, and so you can use it to add a follow-up card, which is Nightmare Apprentice, or you can go for fancier plays such as Diabelze. Of course, this is still here. The Big Wing Burfo is going to summon back the Mirror Sword Knight, so you get additional cards during opponent's turn. I think I need to explain this during the opponent's turn, but say we went for Diabelze instead of Nightmare Apprentice. There's like the other card you can go for is going to be Master Tau. I'm not sure if you want Master Tau, but it does help you set up your chain links a little bit earlier per se. Okay, and this you of course have to set the Chimera Fusion. If you wanted to play the Chimera Fusion first and then add it back to your hand so that you can hold a poly, that's fine, but holding a Chimera Fusion in your hand during the poly plays makes it safe from being hit by Imperm. Alright, so you can maximize your advantage that way. Okay, so if they Imperm, you can definitely like chain Chimera Fusion, like fuse these two off, and then now they have to lose a different card aside from that Imperm, which makes it really fun for you. Give them like serious negs. But like in terms of what we just did the safer way. So during the opponent's turn, what you can do if you did add Diabelze is that you can activate Chimera Fusion to get additional disruption. You can go for Guardian Chimera, but if you wanted to hit them separately twice, then you can definitely just fuse these two off and go for Magnum the Reliever, which is one of the options. I'm not sure if it's a good option, but I'm saying it's something I've done before, and then use the Chimera to summon back the Diabelze. And so that if they set a card, say a spell card, you can pop it right away or pop two things. Typically Nightmare Apprentice is the one that I would destroy, or well, yeah, that's typical hit. And don't forget the Mirror Sword Knight gets tagged out for additional pluses during your opponent's turn. Magnum the Reliever, if they activate a card, you can destroy another card on the field, which is really, really good for you because you have a poly in the graveyard that you can banish. So these are some of the newer stuff that you can do with this particular deck. Now, what about like having the Gazelle and Mirror Sword Knight? I'm going to showcase you this one more time. I've done it so many times already. It's going to be the Gazelle Mirror Sword Knight. Normal summon a Gazelle. Gazelle add the Chimera Fusion. Activate Chimera Fusion. Send these two to the graveyard, summoning out the big Burfo. Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. This adding to your hand is not as important this time, but you're going to add a Nightmare Apprentice, and this is going to send a card into the graveyard. This is why you have to play cards like Master Tau, because Master Tau offers you a free summon of additional cards. So we're gonna put Tau into the graveyard, and Master Tau effect is gonna summon back the Mirror Sword Knight using the effect of Chimera Fusion. Add it back into your hand, and now you can activate the Mirror Sword Knight. So you got both a summon of a Gazelle and a Burfomet, and Burfo is going to add another Gazelle into your hand and another Chimera Fusion. So this is how you can gain massive pluses against your opponent, because you just have the option to fuse more than your opponent. Not only that, You can use Nightmare Apprentice. You can send it to the grave, send the gazelle into the graveyard. I don't know if I recommend that, but it is something you can do, and you can use that to add a Kotal because you don't have a Kotal yet, and then you can dump the Kotal to replace the piece that you are missing. Say I want another Mirror Sword Knight for a future turn, then that's how you can use your ways to retrieve it. If you wanted to, you can get back another Gazelle. If you want to do a hand rip, you can do another Chimera Fusion hand rip. That means basically you have 3 activations of Chimera Fusion, but in a safer play, I typically like having 2 Chimera Fusions available during my opponent's turn, so it's a lot more rough for them to play, not to mention that I technically still have 3 other cards in hand for this particular play. But this particular play helps you add 2 Chimera Fusions into your hand, which is my preference, honestly, because this is your key disruption against your opponent. Alright, that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys got a basic understanding of how to play Chimera Illusion without like the branded package. Yes, it's more consistent. It's a lot more consistent, and I like the ability to board break my opponent just with the cards themselves. Honestly, really, really fun. And then you smokescreen and just playing pure without the Melodious package. Melodious package adds a lot, don't get me wrong, but it is what it is. It's one of the most broken cards available right now that you can play. Synergizes really well, then you should play it. But that's all I got for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up and hit subscribe, ding that notification bell, leave a comment down below. Thank you for subscribing, and check out the link down in the description if you guys want to win some free stuff. And until next time, hold on to MST.TV, and I'll see you all in the next one.